for the Broncos. Ooh, we're winning ugly, but we're winning. It's as simple as that.
I think, if we can find a way not to have to play the #1 defense in the league, that might help.
What on earth did we have to watch last night? I'd like to personally thank the Broncos and Raiders for making me forget completely about the Cardinals' disgustingly horrible loss to the Titans. And I'd personally like to thank both of those teams for taking the worst game of the year title off of our backs. The Broncos and the Raiders last night put on arguably the worst football game that is probably going to happen all season. There were more penalties in this game than there were first downs by either side. The best play of the game for the Raiders came on a punt that was blasted so far, hit at the 1-yard line, and then somehow went out of bounds at the 1-yard line as well. You can't write that up any better. The punter was the MVP for the Raiders last night. Same couldn't be said for the punter for the Broncos, who shanked count 'em, 3 straight punts in a row. In fact, he did such a poor job, he showed how I would look in a Broncos uniform trying to punt a football. Someone gave me this chain honoring Demaryius Thomas from the Broncos-Giants game. They handed this out to like the first 10,000 fans or something. Demaryius would be sick by the game you just played last night. The Broncos played so badly that my boy Brandon Perna over on That's Good Sports nearly died of alcohol poisoning in his video he posted just 3 hours ago.
The autumn wind, wet farted the football. Is it possible to catch an STD from watching a football game? Because I think I caught one from Broncos Raiders on Thursday Night Football.
Well, 3 hours ago as of the time of filming this video at least. I know I've been wearing the same shirt all week long, but I washed it, okay? Because I'm not filthy and disgusting, and I think I look good in this. Somehow the Broncos find themselves at 8-2, and they have the best record in the entirety of the NFL, even though their offense has looked awful for like half of the season. You better be thankful, Denver Broncos fans, that your defense is playing so well, and that Carlson can't make a 48-yard field goal. And don't give me this crap of there were 14-mile-per-hour winds. An NFL kicker should be able to make a kick in 14-mile-per-hour winds at 48 yards. The Broncos season has pretty much been defined by this play right here. Sure, you blocked the punt, but you blocked it with your face. And that pretty much sums up the Broncos season. If you guys really want to know what NFL fans were thinking about the game last night, then let's hop over to the official NFL video where the comment section explains it all. I can't imagine having to watch this entire game. I only saw the highlights and I almost threw my phone away. How do you even get 15 minutes of highlights from this atrocity of a game? And NFL replied, "I love football. Game so bad, NFL had to re-upload it. I fell asleep during the game. When I saw the final score, I'm glad I fell asleep." You know what my favorite part of the game was? The fact it ended. One of the games of all time. I've never been happier that a game didn't go to overtime. Seriously, I'm stunned by that high school match in NFL kit. I also saw a comment that said, "I didn't watch the game and I still feel like I wasted my time." I went to watch this game with my mom and I had to leave by the end of the third quarter because it was so boring. And my mom is a diehard Broncos fan, even though I'm a Cardinals fan. But I just couldn't take it anymore. And the Broncos are my AFC team, I will say. I couldn't handle the pain and agony of watching any more Bover throws by Bo Nix, or specifically last night, any more Bunder throws because Bo was throwing to everyone's feet. In fact, most of the throws didn't even make it to their feet as they were like 2 or 3 yards in front of the receivers. How do you get a blocked punt and start with the ball at the 9-yard line and only get 3 points? The Broncos also got the ball off a turnover that started them on the Raiders' 34-yard line or something like that, and then they had to punt the football. They went backwards on an offensive pass interference call on like the first play of the drive and just worked their way backwards until they had to punt it back. I'd like to have a word with the Raiders training staff who let Geno Smith go back out on the field on one leg for the last quarter of the game. He was limping around worse than an old grandma. And you had Kenny Pickett standing right there wanting to come into the game, but no, we had to keep Geno Smith in the game because reasons, I guess. I honestly think if Kenny Pickett comes in the game, they at least get closer to make a field goal, and they might possibly win that game with Kenny Pickett. I actually think Kenny Pickett's a better quarterback than Geno Smith, so I don't know what they're doing over there in New Vegas. Las Vegas? That's a Fallout game. I don't know what you guys are doing over there in Las Vegas. Let's take a look at some of the stats from this atrocity of a game. Geno Smith went 16 of 26 for 143 yards and 1 interception. Lame. Bo Nix went 16 of 28 for 150 yards, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. Lame. The receiver who went for the most yards last night was Pat Bryant with 1 catch. The only play that went for 43 yards for the Broncos. Heck, they could barely even get a first down. They had like 1 or 2 plays plays that went for more than 20 yards. I think that was max. They may have only had one play go for more than 20 yards. What I do know is the Broncos had practically 0 yards of total offense as well in the first quarter, and it took them until the second quarter to figure out how to get a first down. These are your team stats for the game. Each team only had 10 first downs in the entire game, but each team also had 11 penalties, 8 punts for the Raiders, 7 punts for the Broncos. The Raiders were a lowly 4 of 15 on third down, and the Broncos were a lowly 5 of 15 on third down, and each team averaged less than 4 yards a play. I really don't have any words to explain how bad this game was, and the Broncos may be 8-2 and our best hope of the Chiefs not winning that division this year, but if they play like this, they're not going to do anything if they make the playoffs. Brandon Perna, do you have any more thoughts on the game?
Is it possible to catch an STD from watching a football game? Because I think I caught one from Broncos Raiders on Thursday Night Football.
It looks like Brandon needs some time to get cured from his hangover. Let me know what you think in the comments below of this so-called NFL game, and be sure to subscribe to my growing amazing sports channel. We are now at 146 subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's joined the channel. We're gonna grow the best sports community on YouTube. I will see you very soon with my next video, and Broncos, do better for DT.